Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening on the Mysterious JG. Last time we had kind of an odd video where I went through sort of the story so far of the Uesugi, just in narrative form, of everything we did to get to the Battle of Kawanakajima, plus the, taking us to where we kind of immediately follow. But, what we're going to do now is, hold on. Alright. So in very broad, so there's a bunch of historical events I'm hoping we'll see. And in very broad strokes, sort of the next things that are going to happen in history, because right now we're fighting the Takeda. But the next big things that are going to happen in history is kind of a lot of stuff happening at once. After the Battle of Kawanakajima, like the Tripartite Alliance, which is sort of what's holding the Uesugi in check, destabilizes because the Imagawa just get really knocked the fuck down. And there's been a lot, even though in theory they're this powerful alliance that each have each other's backs, but the Takeda and the Hojo both have a real tendency to marry people off in the alliance, but like they'll go over there and they'll kind of play on people and like, hey honey, why don't you maybe favor my home clan, the Takeda, in your future dealings, or hey, I'm a Hojo girl. I know that you're a Takeda guy, but we're married now. If you really love me, you'll actually support the Hojo. There's a lot of stuff going on where there either is or there are accusations that people who are marrying into one clan are more loyal to that clan than to their own clan, or blah blah blah. So like at one point, Shingen starts taking out people in his own clan who he thinks they're too loyal to the Imagawa, and ultimately, or rather, it might be the other way around. I think what might happen is that the Imagawa are like mistreating people from the Takeda who married in. But the bottom line is that the powerful leader of the Imagawa dies in the Battle of Okehazama, and the new Imagawa leader is an idiot. And I think his name is Sentoin. No, Sentoin is Aya's, Kagetora's sister. I can't remember his name. But the monk who was the teacher of the leader of the Imagawa is also dead. So the Imagawa are just kind of, they're heavily in decline, and Shingen just pounces. Like, oh, these guys are my allies. He finds a pretense having to do with these marriages and saying, hey, you guys are plotting against me. I'm going to kill you. And he just goes in there and he just takes over the castle of the Imagawa. The Hojo attack him in reprisal. There are events related to this that I'm hoping we'll get to see. But if we don't, we're going to cover them in broad strokes. Because the Uesugi have been held at bay by this three-part alliance of the Hojo. Are like, we can't make enemies of the Takeda, because they attacked the Takeda to try to avenge the Imagawa, and the Takeda beat them. And now the Hojo are like, well, fuck. The Uesugi rode in and almost killed us, and the Takeda had to save us. And now the Takeda are beating us up, too. We can't beat both. It doesn't seem like we can beat either. This is a thing that I've noticed playing this game over the years. The Hojo are unfucking stoppable. They're unfucking stoppable once you let the AI cut loose, because they have such great castles. But in actual history, the Hojo just never seem to be able to get it done on the battlefield. So yeah, like they're an unstoppable force because of the way the AI works and the way resources and just the game plays. But they don't really, and like in real history, they never really are quite that impressive, because they just don't have the field commanders to go out there and win a battle against someone like a Kenshin or a Shingen. So anyway, the Takeda end up, the Hojo rather, end up sending, like, they form an alliance with the Uesugi, and as is traditional, the weaker party in the alliance, in this case the Hojo are acting like the weaker party, and they send one of their sons, one of the younger Hojo boys, is sent off to the Uesugi as a hostage. But, well, it doesn't quite work that way, because the same way that Kagetora Nagao had been really good to a Nagao retainer who was talented but rebelled, and brought him into the fold, and the same way he was good to that Murakami guy whose castle was taken, this Hojo boy shows up and is like, hi sir, I guess I'm to be your hostage. I promise I won't cause trouble. And Kenshin's like, nonsense. You're my son now. Like, your father is my ally. He sent you his son here, and I'm going to treat you like you're my son because I'm a real one. I actually take this shit seriously and behave the way that books say a samurai's supposed to behave. This ends up being a problem, though, because, again, Kenshin is celibate and doesn't have any children of his own. So he had already adopted, I mentioned the guy earlier, like, what is it, Sentoin's, Sesai Taigen was the guy who died. He was the Imagawa. He's one of the guys in the Imagawa who knew what he was doing. Yeah, so Sentoin is his sister marries Masakage Nagao, and they have a child too. And we will probably see some events that set this up. But where we're going to cut around, so what I'm getting at is you've got this stuff going where now Kenshin has two sons. Neither of them are his biological son because he doesn't have any biological children. And the alliance between the Hojo and the Takeda has fallen apart. Well, so they're kind of playing around at each other's... See, I don't know which events we will see and we won't see, actually. So I don't know how much I should be saying, but... Yeah, I don't want to talk about all this stuff because I'm hoping that we'll see a lot of it. So let me just jump to... Okay, I'm going to jump ahead because there's a bunch of history that I'm hoping we will get to see. And I've got all these things in my back pocket to show if we miss them. But ultimately, Shingen decides that he's going to march west and take the capital. And to do that, he has to march through the Matsudaira, who are allied with the Oda. Then he'll take out the Oda, and then he'll get to the capital, and he'll become the leader of Japan. You may remember that my last Nobunaga's Ambition Let's Play, we played as the Takeda, and we actually did this. So an event that there's some events we won't see involving this. So let's do a couple of Takeda events, because what we're going to do is get a fictional event where Kenshin defeats the Takeda. So let's play a couple of events about the fall of Shingen, which will get us to the first of the Takeda Uesugi events we won't get to see. So let's see Breakdown with Shingen. Breakdown. And I haven't unlocked all these, but we'll get a couple of highlights. Nobunaga Oda's raising of Mount Hiei shocked the nation. Unsurprisingly, a great many spoke up and condemned his actions. The raising of Mount Hiei had to do with Buddhist monks who were rebelling against Nobunaga and causing problems. And Nobunaga, who, I don't think he made a point of saying it, but he's considered one of history's great atheists. Didn't take Shinto very seriously, didn't take Buddhism seriously at all. And he thought that the Christians were interesting folks with some interesting ideas and interesting guns and technology. But he didn't much believe in their magical bearded savior on the cross either. So when a bunch of Buddhist monks were fucking around, he burned their temples and treated them like he treated any other enemy, and that caused a lot of people a lot of anger. Of the complaints, the criticism that most enraged Nobunaga came from a certain daimyo whose faith was considered questionable at best. I hear you've had some dribble delivered from Shingen Takeda.
Very good.
Very good. Shingen, that sanctimonious bastard. What manner of monk spends his days warring? The cheek of him to think his opinion's worth sharing. Look.
I am indebted.
If I may, your recent behavior shows a despicable lack of respect for the gods and Buddha. I cannot abide your transformation into some demon king. I shall come to the capital and have your head. I suppose this means he seeks to sever ties with us, then? Until then, the Oda clan had been on good terms with the Takeda clan, with neither having ever been outwardly hostile to the other. The aggression of this message, however, seemed to disregard that past civility and declared the clan's enemies moving forward.
Do they think so little of us?
I doubt that bastard Shingen is serious about making enemies of us. He's a holy man. I expect he just wanted to air his grievances about Hiei.
Please hear my thoughts.
Speaking of that incident, I hear the head priest of the Tendai sect, Kakujo Hoshino, has been under the protection of Shingen and Kai ever since he fled Mount Hiei as it burned.
They got us.
He must be getting cocky, because Hoshino pulled some strings and got the Imperial Court to give him a high-rank priest position. Look at the letter's signature.
You must be joking!
Ah, here I believe, head priest of the Tendai in Shingen, Shamon. Shamon? Yeah. So then...
My gut roils at the very thought of it.
The bastard. Thinking himself the mouthpiece of all Tendai, just because he's looking after its head priest. Will you be responding to this message?
An idea has come to my mind.
If he is the boast of Buddhist production, then I shall become the demon to hinder his spiritual enlightenment. Perhaps the Demon King of the Seventh Heaven. Demon King of the Seventh Heaven? An ironic title, is it not? Because you hope to obstruct Shingen's Buddhist practices?
And what's next?
It is. But it may not be long before I have to deal with that Shingen once and for all. The title of Demon King of the Seventh Heaven, which is used even now to describe Nobunaga, is believed to have been a sarcastic title coined by the man himself in response to Shingen. Reading between the lines of these sarcastic... I thought it was like sacrimonious or... no, it's just sarcastic. Sarcastic messages, however, revealed a growing tension in the relationship of the Oda clan and the Takeda clan. And so Nobunaga Oda and Shingen Takeda, two powerful figures of the time, came to realize that the day of their decisive battle was on the horizon. That battle never actually happens, which we'll see in a moment with the westward strategy. Well, we won't quite see it here, but... Kenyo, high priest of the Honganji, rebelled against Nobunaga Oda and commanded every monk in the land to rise up and strike the warlord down. The high priest of Honganji had traditionally taken wives since the days of the sect's founder, Shinran. Kenyo was no exception, marrying Nyo Shuni, the daughter of the left minister Kinyo Sanjo, at 14 years of age. Yoshuni's elder sister was Lady Sanjo, who was married to Shingen Takeda, making Kenyo and Shingen brothers-in-law. Kenyo wrote to Shingen many times requesting his aid in encircling Nobunaga. Our clan has not deemed it prudent to move openly against the Oda clan as of yet. This guy was a major character in the first half of Samurai Warriors Legend of Takeda, or the Sanada, but I don't remember what he talked. However, it is true that Kenyo proved a steadfast ally to the Holy Rebellion in the battle with the Uesugi, so we cannot afford to refuse him out of hand. Despite clashes with Nobunaga's allies in the Tokugawa clan, the Takeda had so far kept peace with the Oda. Yet this brave and manipulation of Shogun Yoshiaki and his torching of Bantie cannot be overlooked also.
This is an excellent time to begin.
And besides, I have crossed the threshold of 50. If I'm ever to carve my name into history, this is my final chance.
The time has come.
Something must be done, and I shall do it.
Everyone, we march!
I hereby sever all ties with the Oda clan. We march for the capital to rid the world of Nobunaga Oda. Resolved to march on Kyoto, Shingen called a council of his most loyal retainers.
Follow me!
This day, we make for the capital. I'm calling a war council. Genshiro. My lord! Your red cavalry shall ride from Akawa and Ieyasu. Give him a show of your might, then regroup with the main force.
I'm confident I can handle
it. It will be done, my lord. Ieyasu shall then learn that the red cavalry are not to be trifled with. Nobutomo, you shall make for Mino, lay siege to Iramura, and hold Nobunaga in place.
Quite.
Understood.
I'm confident I can handle it.
So you mean to hobble Nobunaga, forcing him to send the Tokugawa against us alone? I shall be honored to play my part. Baba. You, what a name. Baba. You will follow the main contingent, toppling the Tokugawa fortresses as you go.
Very well.
I understand. The rest of you are with me. We will trample the lands of the Tokugawa and the Oda underfoot as we make for the capital. And now, my friends, let us swear an oath to our cause.
Look well.
Our banners serve
as no shield could.
Wow, he actually says that our banners serve as no shield could. I guess that's like a pretty famous line because they actually had the voice actor record that one rather than saying, "My blood boils," or something else that isn't the line. Our banners also serve as no shield could. Scatter all who stand against us. Show the upstart brats of Owari and Mikawa how true men wage war. The news that Shingen marched for Kyoto sent shockwaves across the land and struck fear into even Nobunaga's heart. The addition of his greatest foe yet to the forces conspiring against him marked the coming of a storm. The tempest would engulf not only the Oda and the Takeda, but all who vied for glory under heaven. So I don't have all the events, and maybe we'll see other, but we won't, because the whole point of me showing these is that we're going to play a fantasy version of events where Kagatora, aka Masatora, aka Terutora, aka Kenshin Uesugi, defeats Shingen. But even though Shingen and Kenshin were considered ultimate rivals, Shingen actually launches a major move west to attack the Oda, but he's winning. And they're fighting against the Matsudaira and not the Oda. And they're winning. But he just takes a stray arrow and dies. Thus, the great rivalry between Kenshin and Shingen never gets to play itself out for a final battle on the battlefield because of Shingen's final moments. "30 years after expelling his father, Nabutora, and succeeding his house, Shingen Takeda had earned a reputation across the land as a peerless tactician with countless victories to his name. Yet not even he could overcome ill health.
Ill is on the battlefield. I am yet no match for illness.
Wow. Yeah, they gave Shingen a lot of actual custom lines he recorded here. "Katsugori, my time draws nigh. After I die, you will lead the Takeda. Promise that you will do as I say, for the good of our clan."
Very well.
"I swear it."
Do not let my death be known.
"First, you must let our foes believe that I am still alive, or they will descend upon you from all sides. Refrain from rash forays, or they will learn of my passing. Dots. Think only of ruling and ruling well. If your foes attack, repel them. If they retreat, do not pursue them. Endure for 3 years, and the enemy of the Takeda will bow before you." 3 years? Will Nobunaga truly wait that long? Spoiler alert, he doesn't. Although actually Katsuyori ends up, I think, trying to march out and attack on his own. I'm pretty sure, yeah, poor Katsuyori is portrayed as being an ineffective successor, and he's certainly not as good as Shingen was. But this is one of those where they're going to kind of blame him for not following his dad's advice, but it's not clear that his dad's advice was actually going to be able to pull things out for them either. "Next, strengthen your ties with Echigo. You will need them in times of peril." "With Echigo? You would have me ally with Uesugi?" "Terutora may be the most honorable man in all the land. He is a fearsome foe, as I know all too well, but an even more formidable ally." "Then the Uesugi are no longer to be our enemy? The fuck?" "And last, give my body to Lake Suwa. Your mother rests there, and I would join her." "Of course, father." "My mother? So she never left his heart." "Genshiro. Genshiro, are you there?" "Kill you!" Oh, sorry, that's Genjuro. "I am here, my liege. I'm riding into your funeral on my horse. Though I shall never see the capital, you remain to guide the Takeda, wearing our proud red cavalry as your spear. Take up our flag, Genshiro, and plant it in Seta's soil." "My liege." So father saves his last words for Genshiro as he saved everything else. Well, no more. The Takeda are mine now, and I will lead them as I see fit. I'm gonna tell Kagatora... Sorry, Kagatora? Yeah. I'm gonna tell Kenshin to go fuck himself, and I'm gonna march against all my enemies like crazy, and I'm gonna totally bury the clan by my own incompetence. Ha The passing make their decrees. The world, oblivious, continues on its course. The youth are quite capable without. That's true and sad. Wow. I had to think a little bit about mortality over the last couple of years. I don't know that I ever had decrees. I had nobody to give decrees to, but if I did, I don't suppose I would be convinced they'd be followed. But this Shingen was the ruler of, like, you know, bigger chunk of Japan that you could ride across in a day on horseback, which is what really counted back then. And he gave a series of decrees that were not followed after he was gone. With these words, Shingen Takeda, the Tiger of Kai, passed from this world. The Seta he spoke of with his last breath was a bridge over the Seta River in Shiga province, a bridge that was said to point the way to the capital. Even with so many glorious victories to his name, his sorrow at never having reached the capital weighed heavily upon him at the end. And all those were so I could get to the first of the Uesugi events that I do not plan to actually have happen on screen. Because we're going with the fantasy past where Teratora / Kenshin defeats Shingen and then unifies the land, which means the first of the historical events that we're not going to get to see play out would be Kenshin's nemesis. Dots. Oh, he's a ninja. How do ninjas? I guess ninjas just talk regular. I bring word, my lord. Shingen Hoshayan Takeda has passed.
What?
And this is beyond doubt.
It is, my lord. The news comes by way of a Hojo messenger.
I see. You are dismissed.
At once, my lord.
If this is heaven's will, then heaven is cruel. Warriors as stalwart as Shingen are not easily come by. Kanto is lesser for his loss. Ought we march for Shinano, my lord?
That is outrageous.
To what end? Katsuyori sparks no fire in my breast. Shinano can be taken at our leisure. I shall postpone my next council for 3 days. Until then, there shall be no music in the town. Shingen, gone. I can scarcely believe it. It is a rare sight indeed to see our lord shed tears. He grieves for Shingen's passing. Namakusa. Do you not sympathize, Lord Kage? Of course I do. To have one's sworn nemesis stolen away by sickness, a warrior could not but weeps at such a loss. Is he? So yeah, I guess there's different narratives, and I thought Shingen was supposed to have taken an arrow and died fighting the Matsudaira, but I guess he took ill. Either way, he definitely died while his army was on the march. And the whole thing about, like, faking that he was still alive until his army could return so that he wouldn't be attacked, like, you know, his heir wouldn't be attacked immediately. He'd have time to consolidate and get his defenses up before the word of Shingen's death hit. That's true, but I guess whether he died of an arrow wound or sickness, I'm not sure of. Of course I do. Is that why you weep?
Is that why you weep, my big boss?
My lord says the conquest sparked no fire in his breath, that he might no longer be moved to serve the Uesugi.
Aye, it's close. It's enough to even make my heart quail, and yours too, I don't doubt.
Teratora Uesugi and Shingen Takeda, two titans of their age. Despite being the bitterest of foes, they shared an uncommon respect and understanding. While many have speculated on the nature of their relationship, the truth is lost to history. All that is known is their seemingly fated rivalry was unceremoniously cut short. It takes little imagination to see that Teratora must have been stricken to his core. In other words, we don't know that this actually happened. But we're trying to, we're assuming. Like, I think it was written by some that, I don't know if it's historically true, but there were rumors that Kenshin wept for Shingen when he died because he would, you know, his true ultimate rival, who brought out the best in him as a warrior, had died of illness. Whoever dies first, Larry Bird or Magic Johnson, surely the other will cry, because Can you imagine Larry Bird saying, I can't believe Magic's dead. I never got to kill him myself. Alright, being silly now. Yeah, okay, I guess part of this is these things are not always in order, because now we got Battle of Mitakigahara, and Shingen is still alive, but I thought that's where he would have died. Yeah, like, I thought that would be the event closest to when he dies, but he's dying up here, so these things are in a weird sequence. Alright, anyway, so now we've got some events that are related to... I guess I'll let this one go along and try to knock these out in one video. Because I'm trying to get to... Ah, crap. Part of the problem is I've got these written down, but I don't really understand them that clearly. So we might have more to do. Alright. We might have a whole other video's worth of these to do. Oh, so the Uesugi are involved in this event. I guess we'll watch it, but the next one that really involves this is Nanao Castle Falls. So Nanao Castle Falls is where we truly get into the sort of... We begin the end times for Kenshin, and we start to see the succession crisis for the Uesugi. So let's do Tomo Palace, and then we'll wrap up this video. And I think I didn't really set out to do this. I think we're gonna have 3 videos in a row of me just doing these events and not having gameplay. But when we come back to gameplay, the promise is, I mean, I'm not gonna like split my belly in shame if something happens and changes it, but we should be at a place where we do not have to load the game and start a new scenario. So let's do Tomo Palace now. Because I basically just wrote down all the Uesugi events and got them. Driven out of the capital, yeah, because there's a whole plot line going on with Yoshiaki Ashikaga, who... He's not the guy that Kenshin had been meeting with anyway. I think this is the son of the guy Kenshin... Oh no, this is the guy that Nobunaga set up. So a different Ashikaga. So the Ashikaga Shogun, I think, got taken out. And I don't know all the history with the Ashikaga, but a guy who's from that same clan was put in place by Nobunaga. But then he started going against Nobunaga's will. So Nobunaga was going to go deal with him and kicked him out. And he fled. And he's hiding with the Mori. And that's where we're picking this up. Driven out of the capital, Yoshiaki Ashikaga was left to wander the various states of Japan. On many occasions, he requested protection from the Mori clan, whose might rivaled that of Nobunaga. Fed up with the constant requests, Terumoto Mori finally buckled and provided Yoshiaki security within his territory. Terumoto did not want a public confrontation with the Oda clan, so he prepared a castle for Yoshiaki far from his own in the scenic fishing port of Tomonura.
I have developed this land.
It is nice and quiet here by the ocean in Tomo, so you can reside here in peace. You might even cast a line out and...
What in the world?
Lord Terumoto, what are you saying? I did not come all the way to Bingo to go fishing. I came here to play bingo.
It all starts here.
My aim is to defeat Nobunaga Oda and take back the capital. I am counting on the Mori clan support in this.
Yes. Terumoto's plan was to feign affinity to Yoshiaki while keeping him quiet in a faraway land. However, Yoshiaki was intent upon defeating Nobunaga. He called his scattered attendants to Tomo as if to recreate a miniature version of his shogunate in the remote fishing village place thingy. Gai. Thus, his residence became known as the Tomo Palace. Yeah, so that was marked as an Uesugi event, and I think it affected it put in place an alliance of the Uesugi with the Mori or something. So yeah, I unlocked all the Uesugi events, but I don't understand how that one had anything to do with us. I'm just showing all the events that were called Uesugi. So this is taking a little longer than I expected. So we're going to have another video. I will mark these so that they are clear. If you're reading the descriptions, you will know. I think we can knock out the remaining just events in one more video, complete with goofy voice acting, so that the next video will not have gameplay, but we'll be done. And we can then jump back into the game as it was being played, and I'll read the events as they come up. And if I see that we've locked any events out and can't get them, I'll come back to the menu and tell you what they were, and we'll get them anyway, and you'll see all the story events. But when we come back next time, we're going to have, I think, one more video of this, and then we will return to a gameplay that we can carry through to the end without having to restart any scenarios. And I don't know for sure what force I'm going to play next. I'm enjoying this game. I think I'm going to play another playthrough of this rather than Taishi. Taishi was really good too. The problem with Taishi had a if anyone's still watching, congratulations. I guess I got to talk about this another time, like maybe at the end. What series I want to play next? What do people want to see? Nobunaga's Ambition Taishi had kind of the most simplistic and dull domestics, but I thought the actual field battles in that were more interesting and fun than in most of the other Nobunaga's Ambition games. So in a way, it's like the perfect Nobunaga's Ambition game to watch, because it simplifies the most boring menuing aspects, which can be fun to play but boring to watch, and it really highlights combat, which is probably the most interesting for you guys to watch. The problem with Nobunaga's Ambition Taishi is that it doesn't have, unless I missed it, the event system here where it shows you the actual things you need to do to unlock an event. And it shows you all the events that are available for unlocking without spoiling the story. It just tells you a name and what you need to do. And it shows you when you have locked an event out and can no longer get it. So it can make it really easy to streamline getting the events. And then one more, you can watch the events for clans other than yours. So you can unlock all the events without playing as every clan. Taishi doesn't have any of that. If Taishi had that, I think I would be saying this game is fun. Let's play Taishi next. But now it's like, if you want the events, and I think they're fun, you got to play this one. This game, this Nobunaga's Ambition game does particularly in English, but really in any language, it does the events better than any of the others do. So when we come back next time, we'll read through another set of events, and hopefully I'll get through them so that we can actually get some gameplay going again. Thanks for watching.